Hello everyone. In this lecture we are going to do some programs related to virtual function. Now the first program that we are going to do is this one. I'm going to have one base class and one I'm going to have derived class, means single inheritance case is this. Now in base class I have taken two data members A and B. Now if you see here A and B, I have taken them to be protected because the same data members I am going to use in derived class. You can, if you want, you can take here also, no problem. Now what I have done is class base protected int AB, two data members, void s function I have taken for the input and sum function. Now I have made it virtual because I am redefining it in derived class also. What is the statement written is cout base called A plus B, derived class A plus B. You can perform any other operation if you want. Now in runtime polymorphism, what we need to do, we need to create base class pointer. I have created base class pointer and a base class object. Similarly, I need to create derived class object also created. Now what is the first task? P is assign the address of B, means base pointer is pointing to its own object. Now I have data members. Now it means I need to store the values in A and B. Now for base, what is the object? B, and for derive, what is the object? D. It means I need to create two different objects, B and D, where it is going to have A and B as a data member, where it is also going to have A and B as a data member. Before performing or before calculating sum, what I need to do, the data must be there. Now how to take input in case of member function? Object dot. Now see here what I have done. What is an object for this? B dot s. Directly with the help of dot operator I can call this. Now in base class I am having the data in A and B and I am calling sum function. Now for derived class, again it is pointing to derived. Now d dot s, because the data must be in derived class object. P is pointing to sum again because it is pointing to derived class object. Now if I execute this, see here, base class called, answer is 13. Now again it is asking me the input 9, 8, derived class, and 17 is the answer. This is the first program for virtual function. The next program I am going to discuss is one class is going to have the function name area. That function I am going to access in rectangle class. That function I am going to access in triangle class. Now again the same concept. Now I have two derived classes. So how many objects need to be created? Two objects, R1 and T1. It is also going to have A and B as a data member. It is also going to have a and B as a data member. Now see here, class shape protected double A and B. Read function I have defined here. Now calculate area function. I am not going to calculate area here because it is just acting as a interface. It is just providing you the interface named call area that I am going to access in rectangle class as well as in triangle class. Virtual void calculate area. In this I can display a simple cout statement calculating area. Class rectangle derived from shape calculating the area A into B. For triangle, again it is derived from shape class calculating the area A into B divided by 2. Now again in main function shape start ptr I have created. I have not created the normal object for shape class because it is not required, because I am not calculating area here. Now rectangle R1, ptr is going to hold address of R1, R1 dot read, and calculating the area. After that creating for triangle object. Now here T1 dot read ptr and calculating the area. If I execute this program, enter length and breadth, enter base area of triangle 360. Now if you see here this cout statement is I have written just simply. It is not required actually. So what I'm going to do is, if in case virtual function has no definition in the base class, I'm only redefining it in the derived class. I'm going to make this function as pure virtual function. Now how to make it a pure virtual function? Comment the body of it, just assign it a value 0. Now it becomes your pure virtual function. Now let's see some points related to your pure virtual function. A pure virtual function or abstract function in C++ is a virtual function for which we do not have implementation in the base class. We only declare it. A pure virtual function is declared by assigning 0 in declaration. A pure is always defined in its derived class. As it has no definition in the base class, sometimes it is also known as do nothing or dummy function. Now what is the syntax? Same, virtual, your return type, function name, parenthesis 0. For example, virtual void show is equal to 0, or we can write void virtual show is equal to 0. Means your void and virtual are interchangeable. A function is declared as pure virtual function when we do not know its implementation in the base class. Hence it can be defined with variety of implementation in various derived class. For example, I have allocated you the project. Now I have told you it is going to have one insert module, display module, then update module, deletion module. But according to your choice, you are going to modify it. Okay, means in teacher class I have defined the different functions, but according to your choice, you are implementing it. Now, what is an abstract class? A class containing at least one pure virtual function is known as abstract class. We cannot create object of abstract class. Now, if I say what it says, it contains at least one pure virtual function. Now, this is a pure virtual function. Now, if for shape class, I am going to create a normal object. Suppose S I have created. If I execute this, see here, because of the following virtual functions are abstract. Abstract class may contain normal member functions, even constructor also, apart from pure virtual functions. Means it can have both normal member functions also and pure virtual function also. Abstract class is required to be inherited by some derived class so that pure virtual function can be defined or implemented in that derived class. A derived class which is inheriting abstract class is required to implement all pure version of abstract class. Otherwise, that derived class will also become abstract in nature. Suppose your base class is having 2 or more virtual functions. So for every virtual function in base class, the implementation has to be done in derived class. A derived class which is inheriting abstract class is also known as concrete class. Now, what is the difference between a virtual function and pure virtual function? A virtual function is a member function of base class which can be redefined by derived class. A pure virtual function is a member function of base whose only declaration is provided in the base class and must be defined in derived class. Classes having virtual functions are not abstract. It becomes abstract. Syntax already you know. Definition is given in the base class, no definition is given. Base class having word can be instantaneous, that is object can be made, here object cannot be declared. If derived class do not redefine virtual function of, then it has no effect on compilation. If derived class do not redefine virtual function, then compilation error occurs. All derived classes may or may not redefine virtual functions of base class, but here all derived class must redefine pure virtual function of base class. Thank you.